Tiger fans, what's going on, guys? Okay, first things first. I got to call myself out for the lack of content when there has been Tigers news, when there has been a lot of stuff going on with the 40-man roster, when there's been signings, when there's been guys that are being released. So, I promise this week, my brother and I are going to come on here and we're going to go over the complete 40-man roster, all the moves that had happened because of the Rule 5 draft. And I'm going to come on here and we're going to discuss it, talk about it together, and some of Scott Harris's moves that he had made. So last time I was here, Mark Cannon was traded, and the Tigers picked up his year for his option. Now, Scott Harris remains busy. So the Tigers go out and sign Kenta Maeda for 2 years, $24 million. The Twins were in it. I guess he had a few other suitors, but the Tigers were the only one that wanted to give a multiple-year deal. So let's dive right into this. First things first, Maeda's 35. He's had some injury history. Yeah, last year he came back from Tommy John surgery where he had missed all of 2022. He had a right triceps injury that's cost him a few starts. He has only pitched more than 150 innings 2 times in his entire career. And I apologize for looking off screen, but I have these numbers up. I wanted to reiterate them. So his first year with the Dodgers, he pitched 175 and 2/3 innings. Second year, 134. And every single year until the starts have gone down. So you got 32 starts, 25 starts, 20 starts, 26 starts, which was 2019 his last year pitching more than 150 innings. And then 2020, where he came second on the Cy Young, he pitched 66 innings but made all of his starts. Had a 2.70 ERA, which was his best year in the major leagues, mind you, abbreviated. And last year, he pitched only 104 1/3 innings. Now, looking at his injury history, coming off of Tommy John, having that right triceps injury, it is a little worrisome because you have a guy that's been in the big leagues 7 years and has only pitched 100 innings, more than 150 innings 2 times in that time span. But you look at what it was overall. Erod, the Tigers were still dead set on not giving him more money. I think that relationship severely soured when that trade fell through with the Dodgers because Erod wanted that 4th year and he wanted the Dodgers to pick it up, that additional year at $20 million. And the Dodgers would not do it. The Tigers only had the Dodgers as their lone suitor, so it seemed, because of their asking price. And I think because Scott Harris had such an egg on his face that how that all fell through, I think that this whole relationship with Erod soured quite a bit because right before he was eligible to become a free agent, there was talks that they were going to try to rework his contract, but it had come out that the Tigers were staying dead set at sticking to the original contract terms of 3 years, $49 million. So Erod goes ahead and he's now bounced out of Detroit, which means the Tigers have even more open space, cap space, because Miguel Cabrera's gone now. So Maeda comes in at 2 years, $24 million, and you look at the money that they spent. It's pretty much just dead set eating what close to what Erod was going to make. Erod was going to be owed $16.3 million for the last 3 years of the contract each year. Now Maeda is only $12 for 2 years, so you're pretty close to what you were going to pay him. You actually save a little bit of money. You get a guy that is going to come in. He's going to be a mid-rotation starter, and you get another guy that he really fits the Scott Harris mold of what he's looking for. Obviously, the command, the strike zone on both sides of the plate, whether a hitter or hitting or pitching. You look at Maeda's numbers, and I never really realized this until diving a little bit deeper into it today. You look at his numbers, his career whip is 1.40, and he's got a career strikeouts per 9 of 9.9, and he's got a career 3.83 strikeout to walk ratio, which is really outstanding. Like, I did not realize how many strikeouts this guy was having because you don't really think of Kenta Maeda as a strikeout guy. I mean, last year in 104 third innings pitched, this guy had 117 strikeouts to 28 walks. I mean, that's insane. His near side, his 2019 year, his last year with 150 innings pitched, 169 strikeouts to only 51 walks. Now, I did notice looking through some of these numbers and diving a little bit more into him, because I am definitely very familiar with Kenta Maeda. But obviously not watching him on an everyday basis, because, he pitched for the Dodgers, and, I've seen him periodically pitching against us with the Twins. It seems like he is pretty susceptible to the gopher ball. Last year he had 17 home runs. 2021 with 106 innings pitched, he had 16, then 19 pitching 150 innings pitched, 22, then 13, 22, and 20. So it seems like he is a little bit susceptible to giving up home runs. I was looking at his stats against lefties and righties. It seems like he has a little bit of a reverse split where for average wise, lefties and righties both hit him close to same in average, but the slugging percentage for some weird reason jumps up against him against right-handers. Like this year he gave up a total of 17 home runs, and I think 13 of them were to right-handed pitchers or to right-handed hitters, and the other remaining was to left-handed hitters. So it's kind of weird. You would figure being a right-handed pitcher that it would be the other way around, but it seems like he's got opposite splits. Now, I don't know if that's because it's a pitch mix thing. I don't know if it's because, his secondary stuff isn't as good as I thought. I know he throws a really good splitter. I know he is a low 90s fastball guy, but with really good command. Maybe his other couple pitches, I think he's a slider changeup guy as well, fastball slider changeup split. Maybe it's not as good as I thought it was, and he has a hard time putting away right-handed hitters as well as he does left-handed hitters, or his splitter just isn't effective to right-handed hitters as it is to left-handed hitters, so he throws a slider more than a splitter for chase or put away. I don't know. I haven't delved that deep into the numbers. More so periodically looked just to get an idea of his body, just to get an idea of work, just to get an idea of, what he has been the last couple of years. Now, I did want to note something that I thought was very interesting. If you look at Kenta Maeda's numbers month by month last year, so he had 4 starts in the month of April. He went 0-4 with a 9 ERA. But his numbers from month to month after that were really good. In June, he made 2 starts with a 1.80 ERA, but that was only 10 innings pitched. July, he had a 2.93 ERA and 27 2/3 innings pitched, with 39 strikeouts in that time span. And then the month of August was not so nice to him with a 5.04 ERA, and then in 25 innings pitched. And then in September/October, he finished the month strong with his 4 last starts with 25 2/3 innings pitched to a 2.81 ERA. Now, first half to second half. First half, which was heavily inflated by his first 4 horrible starts, 3.79 ERA in the second half, 5.18 ERA. Now keep those numbers in mind, because if we go to our old friend Erod, who he's pretty much directly replacing, not so much as a top end of the guy, but more so veteran presence and some guy that you expect to try to make 25 to 29 starts and be an innings eater guy to help, be a consistent person when you've had so many injuries in your rotation. So Eduardo Rodriguez, we all know how absolutely dominating he was in the first half of the season before he had got hurt. So obviously his first 12 starts, 2.64 ERA. His second half actually was a higher ERA than Kenta Maeda, where Maeda in 14 starts had 3.79 ERA and 71 1/3 innings pitched. Erod had a 3.89 ERA and 81 innings pitched. 69 strikeouts to Maeda's, where is he at right here? 82 strikeouts. Then you look at Erod's ERA month by month by month, 2.21, 2.03, 5.66 in the month of July, almost a 4 ERA pretty much on the dot, 3.99 in the month of August, and a 3.60 ERA in the month of September. So Kenta Maeda actually outpitched Eduardo Rodriguez in the second half of last season. So I'm not saying these guys are a 1-for-1 swap. I'm not going to do that to Erod. I'm not going to trash him, even though I have not so positive feelings towards Erod after the whole debacle with the Dodgers that's been discussed ad nauseum by me on here. It's still for the money, where you're saving $4 million a year for a guy that you give him Chris Fetter and all of AJ Hinch's staff, who did absolute wonders with Michael Lorenzen and guys like Reese Olson with his pitch mix usage. And the Tigers really overall organizationally have done a really nice job with their pitchers, all from the MLB level down to the through the minor leagues, at really changing pitch mix and looking at what they could do to throw another pitch more or change the grip or try to change the shape to be more effective. The Tigers have really done that well in the last couple of years. So you bring Maeda, a guy who you might be able to unlock something with him like you did Michael Lorenzen, where you took Michael Lorenzen, who threw 39 pitches, you're like, guy, let's just throw 4 and let's throw 4 well. And all of a sudden, he was a stud, and they ended up trading him to the Phillies. You know, you might be able to do the same thing with Maeda. Now, I don't think Maeda's a trade chip. Obviously not, because you got him for 2 years versus a 1-year pillow contract. You know, he's going to be here for a couple of years. And you want him to be for a couple of years because you want him to help you win. You're on the precipice of being a team that could compete for the division, winning 77 games, and obviously taking a step forward with the core. So I really like this signing. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. You save some money. You get a guy that you hope with it, even with his injury history, hope that is going to come in here and at least make 25 starts, give you 130 innings, and you hope he steps in. And, you know, he's been in the big leagues for a while. He's got good stuff. He's been a proven starter for a little bit. His career numbers are not bad. You got him for cheap. You got him for 2 years versus what you would have to give Erod for 3. It's a really nice signing. And it was like last year when the Tigers had signed Michael Lorenzen, and I came on here, I was like, listen, there's no such thing as a bad 1-year deal, especially for as cheap as they got him for it. And to get Maeda for that cheap, and you got a guy that has put up some good numbers last year. His full statistics don't really tell the whole case of actually how solid of a pitcher he was and how solid of a pitcher he's been. You know, but I am not going to lie, I am worried about the injury history. I am worried about, you know, how many IL stints he's going to make this year, because you got a Matt Manning who seems to always get hit by baseballs. He seems to break his foot twice a year now. You got Tarek Skubal, who's been a little injury prone so far, and he's going to have his first, you know, knock on wood, full 32 start season next year. And you're getting Casey Mize back, you know, off of Tommy John, and who knows what the innings restrictions and limits going to be. And, you know, you're going to have Reese Olson sliding in there in the 5 spot. And you don't know what he's going to do in his second year. You know, I came on here last year going, hey, Joey Wentz, watch out for this kid. And he got shell-shocked all year. It was just, that's a story we don't need to talk about because we already all lived it. That's just some PTSD stuff right there. But for 2 years, $24 million, digging deeper into his numbers, looking at the overall body of work that he had last year, looking at his overall body of work in his career, good signing. Really good signing. Happy with it. Rotation depth, and let's just hope that he makes 27, 28 starts for us. So that's all I got for you guys today. Again, I greatly apologize for the lack of Tigers content when there has been Tigers things to talk about. I've just been busy. As everyone knows, happy Thanksgiving. The holiday season's here too, so it's been a little bit of a mess with that. So greatly appreciate you watching, and Scott Harris is keeping the ball rolling. Not even winning meetings yet. We've already had a couple of moves. Way better start to this offseason versus last. So I got for you guys today. I will see you later this week. Have a good one. Go Tigers.